brilliant, good. Okay, so next up we've got a poem called 1969 by Richard Goodson, and it's actually a poem for two voices, so he's going to be joined by Gary Keane, who'll be doing the voice of Louis Armstrong.
Is everyone all right? Can you hear me? I should start by saying that a few years ago my mum told me that in 1969 she was watching the moon landing in a flat on Hartley Road in Nottingham, about 14 floors up, and she was pregnant with me at the time. So I just had this image of my mum's belly and the moon on the television. And that image was the start of this very long poem called 1969, which is about 60 pages long. You'll be very glad I'm only reading about 7 pages tonight. It's written in the voice of a film director, and the whole poem is like his notes towards a film, if you like. Cue aerial shots. Pan across high-rise concrete geometries, grid-punched windows, home sweet domiciles of 60s urban Britain. Here, pinned high in a kiddie blue sky, so close to, so sealed from her neighbours, miles from the nearest horse snorting in a green field, Mum plays house. Quick. Let's glide right into the flat now. On trials how it feels, perhaps. The elation of novelty. An overlong truancy. Do nuclear missiles or race riots trouble her? Unlikely. She wears a round-collared orange blouse, flicks through catalogues, smiles, curled high summer in a scuffed teal armchair, formica kitchenette behind, clocks siesta, egg chuckles in a pan, red tea-felt, a matching set. She heaves herself up to switch on the telly, turn off the heat, keels like an entranced, manoeuvring galleon, heavy with loot, finds a plate, an egg cup, and is cochinealed by sunlight, unbeknownst to her, as she balances her dinner back slowly across the room, is rolled by her own hips, back across the threadbare carpet to the armchair. She eats, but finds herself more enthralled by BBC News, rising out of a grey sea noise blizzard box, how a white saucer of moon has swelled to mimic the parabola her own belly makes. As if that quick left hook, that kick inside, just felt, might be a moonquake felt by Armstrong too. Might be a long shudder sent along a universal fault line, demanding hot off the press headlines around the world, baby's kick cosmically defiant. She scribbles in shorthand, tots up shillings for wool. Why won't tell you?
That's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind. I should have said a man. The indefinite article was what I meant to say, meaning one small step for me here. My hand on this ladder. Yet one incomparable moment in human history.
But A was not said, or if said, was slurred, not heard, despite his avowed intent. lost in transmission, NASA will insist. His left boot, slow, steps down into inch-thick bone meal. Shot of bent, bright rubble plane curled around his visor. Sub-zero symmetry of meteors, each smashed an accident. One day or one eon ago, who knows? Cold scars, devastation. A bleached peach pit scoured of succulent flesh, which ants, thorough surgeons, have picked bone clean. Armstrong continues.
I'm the king of the castle, triumphant. Sure beat those bastards. Forgive me, man. Those Ruskies who couldn't cut it. But where the hell are brave men meant to ride their racing hearts now we've done this? Another thing, no hoofprint of gods any place evident. I just feel the weight of vast, unhomely universe leaning in, unbreathing, unworded, ignorant of me, my crew, this tinfoil eagle and this blue jewel, this grail of where we're from.
Meanwhile, the A he meant to say, casualty of his botched lines, lifts like a dandelion seed off into that same firmament, mopes through 1,000 light years galactic tundra and comes slowly to know itself. How, if it didn't buck up, wave its false sovereign uniqueness and sow itself into a brand new alien alphabet, there'd be no new words. This isn't, by the way, an allegory, it happened. But likewise, no moments, days, years exist without being moistened or bothered by others. So no Snow White page, no precedence, no intoning of Hebrew.
Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim behet haaretz.
In the beginning, God created heaven and earth. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. No intoning of Greek.
En arkai ein har logos.
In the beginning was the Word. John chapter 1, verse 1. Because time's a kaleidoscope, all shuffled bits of mirror, gem and grit. We all repeat, rejig and recombine. More alive, the more our body lets this dream of pure beginnings melt away. Mum feels future-bound? Is future-bound bound by her future? Bets are off as to what she feels. Blue bottle, a fidgety sapphire, spins in rapture, trapped, panics, headbutts an underlip of lampshade. Our future's looming, as cocksure as my milk teeth, as submerged snowdrops' heads punch through topsoil, permanence deep behind them in my unborn jaw.